Welcome to We Talk English, your favorite English podcast. We're excited to have you with us today. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected for regular English learning podcasts. Let's get started.
You know, we don't often think about it, but water, it's kind of the backbone of, well, everything, isn't it?
Oh, it's true.
Everything from our morning coffee to the food on our tables, it all comes back to water.
Yeah, it's the most basic thing we need, right?
Exactly. And yet, over 2 billion people around the world are dealing with water scarcity.
That's a tough statistic.
It is. It's a really scary thought, and it really kind of puts a focus on places like Yuma, Arizona.
Yeah, I've heard about this.
So imagine this. Yuma, Arizona, one of the hottest and driest places in the entire United States. And right now, they're in the middle of a drought that is so severe, it's actually making history.
Wow.
But here's the interesting thing. In the middle of this incredibly dry landscape, farmers are actually turning to new technology, to innovation, to solve this problem, and they're testing out something called liquid clay.
Liquid clay.
Yeah, liquid clay. And that's our deep dive today. Is this stuff the real deal? Can liquid clay actually transform agriculture in a world where water is, well, it's becoming more and more precious?
I'm interested to learn more about this, yeah.
The challenge here really comes down to the ground itself. You see, sandy soil, which is common in places like Yuma, it's really bad at holding water.
It's like, what? Trying to pour water through a sieve?
Exactly, just goes straight through.
Right.
Clay, on the other hand, because it's got those finer particles, acts like a sponge.
Uh-huh.
It holds on to that moisture. It holds on to nutrients, stuff that plants need to survive.
And that's what this liquid clay stuff is all about.
That's the idea.
Like harnessing what clay can already do, but like on a much bigger scale.
Yeah, and it's not some kind of high-tech thing.
Oh, really?
No, this is about using the natural properties of clay to change how the soil, how it behaves at a really, really tiny level.
So you're not like, I don't know, changing the makeup of it or something?
No.
Interesting.
And what's really fascinating about it is that this liquid clay, it's really simple. It's just clay, air, and water.
Really? That's it?
That's it. No harsh chemicals, no crazy ingredients, just those three things working together.
Huh. Who figured that out?
Well, there's a company called Desert Control, and the guy behind it, his name is Ol Sivertson. They're on the cutting edge of this, working with, get this, date farmers in Yuma.
Date farmers. Wow.
Yeah, and these farmers, they're dealing with, get this, the worst drought the region has seen in 500 years.
500 years? Are you serious?
That's what they're saying. Talk about being on the front lines of climate change.
No kidding. That's got to be a tough situation to be in.
It is. And that's what makes this such a fascinating story, because these farmers, they're looking at, a real threat to their livelihood.
Right.
And they're willing to try something new.
Yeah.
And it's not cheap either. It costs about $2,000 an acre to use this liquid clay.
$2,000. Wow.
That's a big investment.
It is a big investment. So it makes you wonder, like, what's the big payoff? Why beyond just saving water?
Right. Are they seeing benefits besides just, like, using less water?
Yeah, like what else is going on?
Well, okay, so think about this. You've got these sandy soils, right?
Uh-huh.
And there are these huge gaps between the particles.
Okay.
And the water just flows right through those gaps, and it takes all the good stuff, the nutrients, with it.
Oh, so it's like, it's not even just about the water. It's about what the water is taking with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now imagine that liquid clay. It goes in and it binds all those particles together.
Uh-huh.
And it creates this matrix that holds onto that water and those nutrients.
So it's like giving each little piece of dirt the ability to hold on tight.
That's a great way to put it.
It's like you're giving the soil a superpower, right?
Uh-huh.
Making it way better at holding on to the things that plants need.
And it's not just the water and nutrients either, right?
Oh, absolutely not. There's, that whole hidden world in the soil.
You mean like the microbes and stuff?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
All those
Right.
little helpers. And they need a certain kind of environment to do their thing.
Right. They need it to be kind of stable, not too dry.
Exactly. They need some moisture.
Mm-hmm.
And when you use liquid clay, it's like you're creating this perfect little haven for them to thrive.
So it's all connected. You improve the water, the microbes do better, and then the soil itself gets healthier.
Exactly. You get it. It's like this, I don't know, positive feedback loop, but for dirt.
I like it. But, okay, I have to ask. This all sounds incredible, almost too good to be true.
Mm-hmm.
Are there downsides? Like, we're talking about changing the very nature of soil here on a large scale. What don't we know about this?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? And to be honest, there's still a lot we're learning.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Scientists are looking into the long-term effects right now.
Like what? What are they worried about?
Well, for example, how liquid clay affects how water moves through the soil over time. Like,
Right.
does it change the infiltration rates?
Mm.
And what about the plants that are native to the area? How do they react? These are all things we need to figure out.
So we need more data, more research before we can really say for sure what the long-term impact is going to be.
Exactly. It's always a balance, right?
Yeah.
Weighing the potential benefits against the unknowns.
That makes sense because even when we're trying to do something good, there can be unintended consequences.
Yeah.
That's something to think about because, someone listening to this might be thinking, okay, this liquid clay thing, that's all well and good, but I don't live anywhere near a desert, so why should I care?
Right. Right. And that's a fair point. But we got to look at the bigger picture here.
What do you mean?
I mean, this isn't just about, one technology or one place.
Okay.
This is about how are we going to feed the world as, the climate changes and we get more and more of these extreme weather events
Right.
and droughts like the one they're dealing with in Yuma. They're becoming more common, unfortunately. And that has a ripple effect, on food prices and access to water, even things like migration patterns.
It all comes back to that interconnectedness.
Yeah, exactly. What happens in one part of the world, it really does affect us all.
So we've got to find ways to deal with these challenges, right?
Exactly. We need innovation. We need to explore every option we have to make our food system more resilient.
And this liquid clay, this is it's kind of a symbol for that, isn't it?
In a way, yeah.
It shows that we can find solutions, even in unexpected places.
And that sometimes the best solutions are the ones that work with nature, not against it.
So much to think about. Well, this has been a really interesting look at this liquid clay technology, and I hope our listeners are feeling inspired to learn more. Maybe this deep dive has sparked a new interest for you, or maybe you'll look at a glass of water a little differently tonight. Whatever it is, I hope you'll keep the conversation going. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.
And, again, thanks for joining us on We Talk English.